Hi there and welcome to the Barbara Young channel and welcome to my Friday Sews. And firstly I'd just like to say thank you to Jen from Today in Jen's Sewing Room for creating the hashtag Friday Sews so that we can all come together on a Friday and show you what we've been up to for the week or however long it's taken us to get done. So for me, what have I been doing? Well, it's doing a top. It's a little bit of a side project. Basically, I decided to have a bit of a tidy up because I had lots of stuff cluttering on here and lying around, and thought I need to tidy up a little bit. And in that tidying up process, I found a top. And this top is one that was, well, it was starting to wear out a little bit and the seams were going in one or two places. And I thought, I like this top, I don't want to lose it, so I'm going to take it apart and copy it. And the top is, well, this one. Yeah, this one. Not much left of it because I've already started taking it apart. Actually, I've fully taken it apart, to be quite honest. My thoughts were, I'll take it all apart carefully, then I'll make a template from this, and then I'll make another one. And I thought it won't take me too long, about, you know, a day at most, if that, for taking it apart, get a template drawn out from the pieces, and then make a new one. Simple. No, not really. Quite the opposite, actually. Trying to make a top from instructions is one thing. Trying to recreate something that already exists without any guidance, well, that's another thing entirely. Now, this one had got this detail on it, show it on here, some pin tucks. Now, the thing about it is that they weren't evenly spaced, and they're not equal sizes. So when I took it apart, I decided I'd have to take the whole lot apart on this side and undo it so I could understand the full width of the material without any tucks in there, so I could basically work out what size I needed to make and to cut out. So I've had a go at that, and yeah, it's a little bit more difficult than it appears. So I've done one mock-up, so I'll just show you that. Here we are, one mock-up, and yeah, it's not coming out how I thought it was. It is coming out slowly, but I'm having to work around the things that aren't coming out right. What I'll do is I'll put this on, and then I can show you what I've done so far. And here's the mock-up so far. As you can see, you get a sort of overview of the sort of shaping of it. Now, I've just pinned it up at the front because it's got a very long opening that opens to about here, so it comes a long way down, so it's easy to get on and off over my head, over the shoulder. So I've just pinned it. I probably would have it to about here with the buttons, so it comes up this far. The original styling was that at this point it would angle off, but I don't like that way of doing it. I don't fancy that. So I'm going to leave it as straight up and down for the full length. So I could, if I wanted, put buttons that will come all the way to the top if I wanted. But I'll probably stop here with the buttons, so this part stays open slightly. As you can see with this mock-up, it is fairly close fitting on me. And then bells out at the bottom. Now, I call this a smock top, but I don't know if that's actually what it is. I've got a couple of darts in the back, which help to give it a bit more shaping, which is great because I think it really works well and they sit in just the right place. And that's how it was on the original garment. Darts in the back, and we've got these pin tucks at the front with quite a long opening. I'm just going to get a bit closer to the camera so I can show you the details. Now, this top has some, well, I believe them to be called pin tucks. That's what I'm saying that they are. And on the original top, the tucks were uneven and different sizes, so I tried to replicate that here on this side, but it just doesn't seem to sit quite right. I'm not sure about that. So I redid it again on this side, but made them all the same size. The tucks are all even in size. The distancing I've kept the same, but they are all the same size. Maybe I need to change it so that the distance in between each one, as well as the size of the pin tuck, are all the same across. But that seems to work as it is. I'm quite happy with that. So I might leave it. I don't know yet. And yeah, button up to about there, I think. There are two darts on the side, which seem to be generally in the right place. They're a little bit long for me, maybe a little bit high, but looking at this top, it's a little bit snug. And also I meant to have sleeves on this, which I haven't looked at yet, so there's yet to have sleeves on this. There will be a collar. I've just done part of it on this side just to get a gauge of sizing and curvature, so hopefully I'll be able to get that worked out quite soon. And then the other thing I need to sort out is when I've done this pin tuck here, when I've come to the shoulder, you can see that it doesn't match up. This part is now too short compared to what the yoke piece is, because there's a yoke in the back there. On the original it was a double yoke, which is what I will do again, and then you'd have a sleeve. So somewhere I'm either doing too many pin tucks or there's too much spacing between each one. I don't know what it is, so I'm losing more material in the gathering there than I was expecting. But because this is quite a close fit, my intention is actually to widen this out. And what I'm going to do is, because I want to move this dart slightly, basically just move it across. So our first thoughts would be to open up this seam and make that wider. But I'm thinking I need to adjust this shoulder as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to slash it straight down by the dart, but after the pin tucks, and then just basically open it out that way and put a piece in there. So this shoulder then moves across and I get more of shoulder, so it meets up. And I also then should give me more room because this is now wider, so I've created more width. Because the back I think is just fine the way it sits, because the side seam, it's almost in the right place, it's slightly forward. So by taking that out, hopefully the seam will go back slightly. And I just hope it all works, because, well, if it doesn't, then I've got to rethink this completely. So having got so far with my mock-up, I realise I'm going to have to make another mock-up and to do some adjustments and see how that goes. Now I've made adjustments to the pattern, so I've got the other mock-up pieces redrawn out. The back piece has pretty much stayed the same. It's just one great big long dart in it, but it's pretty much the same. Then I've got the yoke, which I've made it like that. So I cut it on the fold, so I know they're fairly even both sides. Managed to do the small adjustment to that because I'm concerned about this matching up with the front, of which is this, a huge piece here. I've split it and widened it out, so I've got a bit more width on the shoulder. Hopefully give me a little bit more room across the front, because the other thing I noticed is that the back of the pin tucks were starting to be stressed and pop out at the bottom on the actual threading. So this is quite a big piece now. This is going to be cut on the fold, and then what I'll do is I'll cut down the centre to, I think it's about here, and then I can put in the button placket pieces, which I've got here, which again are very simple, just fold over and then fold down, and then some odd way of fixing it in at the bottom. But yeah, that's pretty much it. The only other bit is the collar, which I've sort of worked out to be that sort of size. This is on the fold, so again, all basic pieces. There's not a lot to it, but these pin tucks and making sure I get the right width so it comes together, that's been the difficulty. So they're my parts for my second mock-up, which hopefully will come together quite quickly now I think that I've worked out the issues. The only part I haven't actually done a pattern piece for is the sleeves. So that shouldn't be too difficult. Hopefully once I've got the rest of it together, that should sort of just fit in. I just got to decide on length of sleeve and how it's going to be, whether it's going to have a cuff at the end or not, but I need to focus on that part first of all. So there we go, that's my pin tuck top project. So there we have it. That's all I've actually got for you this week. Having gone rogue, as it were, with doing a project that wasn't even on plan on doing yet. That's taken me a lot longer than I was expecting, really. You know, I expected maybe in 3 days I'd have a finished top, but no, it really does take a lot longer. Taking a garment apart, I've got no instructions, I've got nothing to tell me how it should go back together, how it was put together originally, and because it was probably made as a mass-produced garment, it would have been made as a process by several people, so it would have been made a lot quicker and much more differently to how I'm going to be making it. So I've had to work around, one, my body shape, two, the different techniques that I've got to go into putting it back together, and making any changes that I feel I need to make to have a well-fitted garment. So yeah, reworking an old garment that you like to make a new one is never really quite as simple as it first appears. I thought it'd be quick, but it's not. So there we go, that is really it. I've got a couple of other things on the go. As I have mentioned before, I've got my it's a slip dress and wrap dress that I really haven't been getting on with, which is probably why I've been distracted by this little project. And I've also got my waistcoat top, or vest as it might be called, and I'm still waiting on some materials for that. I need some more interfacing that's going to be needed on that project, which has yet to arrive. So until that gets here, I'm sort of a bit stuck at getting any further with that, but hopefully I'll be able to push on with that before too long. So there we go, that's about it really. Haven't got much else to say really, I suppose. Generally things are just ticking on by. The weather's gone rubbish again, it's wet and damp. This is the UK. You only get a bit of sunshine here in the UK before it quickly turns damp again. So there we go. I've not much else to say about it. But if you like this video, please do give it a click on the like button and subscribe if you'd like to see more content, and that way you'll get notification. Please put a comment if you want to. I do like reading your comments. It's always nice to read what you're thinking, and also comment between yourselves. This is why we have the Fridaysews, so we can all put our opinions across and talk about what we're doing sewing wise, and create a community. If you'd like to support my channel, you can do through my Ko-fi channel. So I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Bye.